During the 18 months that a community works in the Horizons program, they really have the opportunity to learn much more deeply about the issue of poverty in their community, to develop leaders in the community who are committed to making a difference, to bring the community together to set a vision for itself, and then to take specific actions to implement that vision. Each community, as they move through visioning in action, is given a grant of $10,000 from the Northwest Area Foundation to implement their projects.
This is a pumpkin. It's not quite ready yet, but it'll do for show.
My husband and I really want people to understand where their food comes from. That's part of our goal of our farm. I never had the idea of starting a community garden. I never did. The idea came out at the study circle talking, and it was just like, this is what we have to do. This is what our community needs.
This is for the whole area of Pine City. Everyone has the option of having their own area and grow their own food. They are thrilled to take the items home with them, plus being able to share it with the food shelf.
Most of the food we're growing here is going to go to the food shelf. It's where people get free food because they're running out of money and they can't afford food.
Last year, the youth gardens gave over 300 pounds of food to the food shelf.
We worked on raising money for the playground equipment. When I first heard that we had to raise X amount of dollars in 10 days, I think it was, and I was just rolling my eyes and like, yeah, right, in Hoffman, we're not gonna see it. And we so surpassed that mark. I was in awe that a community could come together on one common goal like that. I don't think we failed on anything we've tried with Horizons. I think each of our little tasks that we've started have blossomed, and I think we've succeeded in everything we've started.
When we got to the study circle large meeting, our ESL families, who many of them didn't speak English or speak it well, stood before a crowd of 100 people and shared their concerns. Never has that happened on an equal playing field, that the voices of the City Council and the Mayor are equal to the voices of the students in our family literacy class.
When they decided to vote for our bus shelter, we were so happy. Finally, like Hispanic people, we're gonna say something about that community.
Now, many people will look at a bus shelter and say, well, how does that eradicate poverty? How does a community garden eradicate poverty? These are first steps. And as you do that, trust builds between people who have never met each other before, really, and pride happens. And then that pride and that trust work together to allow them to take on more difficult challenges. Challenges where the conversation's harder. Challenges that are not as easily solved, that might take 2, 3, 4 years to work out.
Homelessness looks really different in the rural area as compared to the urban area. The main face of homelessness in Pine City, which even I myself have been in this situation, is families living with other family members or friends because they've lost their home. At the dinner, we got together and voted on what the top priorities they thought would be of Pine City, and homelessness was one of them. Our short-term goal for homelessness would be to set up the transitional housing, and our long-term goal would be to actually open a shelter.
Aunt Dee's Miracle on 5th Street is right now, I'm probably up to 30 vendors of different types, from wood products, glass products, candles, jewelry. Horizons got the ball rolling. It needs people to say, we believe in you, we know it's expensive, we're gonna give you a try. And by doing that, it almost makes a person work harder, knowing that there's other people depending on them.
Yeah. That's sad.
I did notice more and more strollers coming down to the farmers market on the off nights.
People have gotten to know one another who didn't prior to the program. Connections have been made, partnerships have been formed. People are rolling up their sleeves and getting to work that otherwise hadn't been engaged in the civic process.
The hole is there. I asked Matt if we could have holes in the tops of them so that students weren't gonna be like, oh, well, this is a trash can. You know, they'll see the hole and they'll see the green and they'll realize that it's for recycling. So
Often in communities, it's the usual suspects who seem to do everything. The beauty of Horizons is it's the unusual suspects who are doing this work. It's someone who lives in a trailer park who has never thought to speak in front of a room, let alone be a leader on a project action team. It's a group of Latino kids in St. James.
That we're always late for everything, that we have 30 kids. Like, those are the stereotypes that I think about, or that I've been told that that's what a Latino is, but I really think that it's up to us to really break that stereotype. And
I think that I was a leader before Horizons started, but I feel like Horizons gave me that jump to actually fulfill my potential. It gave me that voice and those leadership skills that, I didn't know I had until Horizons came along.
We all know that poverty takes much more than 18 months to eradicate in a community, to reduce even in a community. By working together, though, a community can set a new course for itself, for its families, to reduce the impact of poverty and reduce poverty in that community.
We're working together. We have the same type of goals. We're there to work together to make life better, no matter who we are.
It's a beautiful feeling to know that you're a part of something larger than yourself. And that's what the recycling project, that's what Horizons is about doing something for the greater good.